What's up? Today is the 22th of September. I think it's the 22th. Because I think I did this yesterday, thinking it was the 22nd and it was the 21st. Let's find out. Good grief. Love technology. Today is the 22nd. So I think yesterday I said that I was going to do the priming of the... I don't know why I don't remember what I said I was going to do, because when I formulate the plan on the way to work, it seems pretty solid, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. They sound like outstanding ideas. You see my watch, little... Oh, there's some... Yeah, there it is. So, whatevs. So I hit it with the bonding primer, the front, under the bay window, around the door. I thought there was going to be more flaking and scraping than there was. A lot of that area is just dry damage, it's just sun damage, really dry. Not a lot of rain gets in there, but there are a lot of separated areas on the shakes that could potentially allow for moisture to get in. And any large gaps I've been hitting with caulk, but honestly, after painting it and seeing how it reacts in the other areas that I've already done, I don't think it's exactly necessary, because if water does get in there, it's allowed to run away because of the shake underneath. That's just how it is. That's pretty cool. So, with that, the area where water was coming in the middle of the basement, like in between Daniel's door and the furnace, is right at the edge of the porch slab, front porch slab, like the front door. So, looking at it, realizing that somebody had poured a concrete slab, just like the damn patio. They poured a porch slab just there, on top of whatever was there. They just poured fucking concrete up against the house. No expansion joint, just right up against the house. So that's why I think that is kind of fucked. It has shifted, but I think it's done shifting. And it is sloped away from the house, but a blowing rain is going to collect there. And I'm not 100% sure that the roof and where the bay window was put in and how the gutter was done, water coming in, is still sort of a mystery, but the water is coming in above the foundation line. So that tells me it's coming in like by the gutter and then going back and down, like it's leaking in the wall and out. So I really still don't know. I'm going to monitor that on some heavier rains. I'm still unsure because I've been out there when it was coming down real hard and I can't see where it's coming from. So what I've done to the roof with the extra flashing on the drip edge, between the drip edge and the gutter, in the front section between the patio and the end of the house, should remedy whatever that situation is, I hope. I don't know. Without it actively leaking and raining, I don't know where it's coming from. I could set some dye and let it I don't know. But I don't want to do all that. Right now there's no rain. There's no rain predicted for probably until it's supposed to rain Sunday, but I really don't see that as being a big rain. I don't know, I haven't looked at the weather. Hoping to get in the woods Sunday. So I'm going to wait until Friday to pick up a drill bit to remount the front hose bib, because I'm gonna need to pick up some copper and some other things, and I really don't want to paint around it. I want to paint it, prime it, do it, and I don't want to go to the store and have shit. So I'll have that kind of staged, or I'll have it prepped, painted, ready. So tomorrow should be my first coat of blue. I had a dream last night that everybody I talked to, I was telling them, I'm taking tomorrow off. I'm taking tomorrow off. That's okay. I'm taking tomorrow off. And I meant I was taking off painting the house, which was today. So, I don't know. A Corvette just drove by me. And the license plate said Ray for us. Not pray for us. Ray for us. But it was R-A-Y, not R-A-E. So it wasn't Star Wars related. No, it's funny though. Ray. I don't know who they think Ray is. So where the hose bib's gonna mount around the gas meter. Let's see. I think I'm gonna leave that gray. Brandy wants to paint it blue. I'm a big fan of things that are like utility or different portions not blending into the wall. So the gray that I'm using is kind of a satin gray, a satin to a semi. I can get a different sheen, but I think that up against the denim blue shakes will, and it's behind the gutters and stuff. So I'm gonna leave it gray for a minute. I can paint it at any time. So I'm gonna leave it gray for, it's got splatter and stuff all over it for primer, and it's ready to go. It's ready for final coat. But I want to paint, I want to get everything painted, and then I want to step back and look at it, kind of see what it looks like. The downspouts definitely going to be white. Again, I think the contrast of, even though you want to hide downspouts because they're ugly as fuck, I still feel that trying to mask and paint something into the background like that is almost more obvious. So I don't know if I want to paint the downspouts or paint them white. I don't know. Either way, we still got to get somebody in there to root out the front downspout, and I got to figure out if I'm going to put in a 2x3 downspout over by Brandy's studio, and just use it like as a supplemental. We may put a barrel in there. That'd be a good place for a barrel, right behind that wall. And then we can divert it where we want it, because it's going to be supplemental. And I think that's a real. I think that would be a beneficial possibility. It's just right there where that wall is, and the transition is going to be difficult to hide unless I bring it down and take it into behind the wall and then down and out. So let me chew on that one for a minute. That's down the road. Right now everything is just, it is. So tomorrow I'm gonna treat these like predictions. So tomorrow I'm going to lay blue. Tonight, after I got done with the primer, I was just kind of kicking it around. I cleaned up a few things, cleaned out my brush. Fuck, I'm not sleeping well. I cleaned out my brush, and I was going to mask the front door and the edges of the bay window, because I'm going to be rolling a half-inch nap roller, and that flings the blue paint like mad. So I was going to do that today, and I had just shut the garage door, and I had just put everything away, just got done cleaning my brush. I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to. I should have today. I mean, it would have taken 12 minutes to mask that off, because everything's going to be wet in the morning. The dew point and the way it's hanging out it's lingering, so it's making morning work rather difficult. And Ollie has been sleeping a little bit later. We got up at 8 o'clock today. He went out about midnight, about 12:30 last night. He went out. So he went about 8 hours. He went about 7.5, 8 hours. And when I took him out this morning at 8, he had a full big boy pee, like he'd been holding it all day. So that's happening. That's pretty cool. But also today there were several little just trickles that he didn't, I don't think he knew he really had to pee. He just stopped and pissed in the middle of the living room. Like, oh hey. And once he was playing in the studio, come around the corner and I could see his head. He was just kind of stopped, and I walked up to him like, what the fuck? And he had just dribbled. It's just a little tiny, like, not full on. I guess he's still learning, but he's getting better. But it happened like he was done and then stood. So there was nothing we could do. It wasn't like, he was already done. Couldn't yank him up. I didn't want to. And he's starting to get to, whenever we get excited and jump toward him, he runs away like, oh no, they're gonna get me. Or I don't know if he's excited or if he's treating that as a game, but that's becoming kind of a thing. That, and even Brandy mentioned the other day that his name is worn off, but he's also exploring more. He doesn't have any consequences for not responding to things. So I really can't remember how to resolve that. It's more of a, I don't think I really had to. I lead trained Duncan. I had him on a long lead, and if he didn't respond, like a 20-foot lead, but that was more for bird training, for field training. So we used that as, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I don't want to put a rope around his neck and then use that as a, I don't know. So I'm going to have to look at figure that out. I think we're going to schedule him his first round of obedience training soon. We'll see when they're available. So he's on track for that. I don't have a problem doing it. Why would anybody have a problem training their dog? I really am so far out of puppy training that I'm okay with having some pointers, some refreshers for me as well. Trying to recall how to do things. I mean, let's face it, it wasn't my thing. Duncan made it very easy for me to train him because he was very responsive and I had professional help. Not professional. Mark wasn't a professional. He didn't want to be called a professional because he didn't want to be a professional doing the thing, but he was a professional. That's his lot in life. Dog whispering. So he's barely 3 months old. That's the thing. So if I remember correctly, we got Cooper when he was, I want to say, close to 3 or 4 months, and he was like brand new puppy. But he was a little bit more involved, and Duncan helped a lot. But his bladder and his functions had been a little bit more developed than a puppy. So probably right around where Ollie is now is when we got Cooper. So still a puppy. No, I don't need to go. I can go straight to the highway, I think. Alright, so again, tomorrow is laying on the blue. They're going to mask, blue, and that's it. I'm going to let it dry all day because I was thinking possibly putting a coat of blue on today, but I want to give the primer, I want to give the bonding primer, and that, in some places it's the second coat of bonding primer. I want to give it enough time to cure, and I kind of touched at it yesterday where I laid it on pretty thick on the caulked area, and it was still a little tacky, but I could have coated it. I think a full cure of that is like 7 days, but once the chemical reaction has started, I can cover over it, and it's going to continue to cure. So giving it a day, an entire day, is going to be better for it. It's going to be better for me, and I'm going to see where it's receded and it shrinks. The bonding primer goes on mean, it looks like Elmer's glue. It's thick. It's like painting with. It's the exact consistency as pudding. It's like, you know, a snack pack. Just opening up a snack pack and dipping in paint. And it dries a little thinner than it looks like it goes on. But it does its job. It does an absolute incredible job. And I'm really, really pleased with it. It doesn't go very far, but for this application, yes, I would recommend the Zinsser Triple Thick Bonding Primer. It bonds to everything. And it holds, it's called Peel Stop. And that's essentially what it's doing. It's gluing flaky bits to its surface. It's fucking fantastic. I wouldn't recommend spraying it because I don't know of any sprayers that would lay that. I'm sure there are, but I'm not paying money for a fucking sprayer. It's just as easy for me to roll it. And even so, if I was spraying, I would come back with a roller. So, fuck it. So, first coat of blue tomorrow. Mask and blue. I want to get everything blue. I want that whole front blue. I'm going to get in there pretty thick with the blue. Brandy came out the other day when I was painting the gable, and she said that the paint looks lighter. It doesn't look as blue as the front. Well, it really doesn't. It looks it looks a lot lighter. And I thought, well, maybe it's the sun. I'm like, then I got to thinking about it. The front has more pattern. There's more shadow. There's more depth to the front, and the side is the flat siding. So the way the light is reflecting off of it, you get, you know, a different refraction of the color. So it's going to appear a bit lighter because you're getting more light. You're getting more light reflected, so the refraction is going to be on the lighter side, if that makes sense. So refraction is how light, it's reflection, it's where light bounces off, but it's the light that doesn't get absorbed into the whatever bounces back is refracted. It's rejected by the it's loose. So if you have something that is black, you shine white light on, you shine the sun on it. What is refracted is nothing. So you see an absence of color, which is black. You see something white. What is absorbed by white is nothing. So what is refracted is everything. So light reflects off of things, but how we perceive color is refraction. That's how light is bent, and that's a dumb way to put it. That's like how you explain it to a kindergartner. So surfaces for refraction and act similar to reflection. If you have say you have a shiny piece of plastic that is black and you lay it out in the sun versus a piece of black felt, there's going to be more reflection off of the plastic, and it's going to look brighter than the felt, but the light that refracts is about the same. It's just how the reflection and the refraction, well, maybe not, I don't know. I that's kind of how I understand it, but a super flat, smooth surface painted the same color as a rough surface is going to be lighter. Let's just go with that. And you know, it is the same color, it's just a different hue of that color, and I'm running with it because it's a lot better than the faded ass gray that it turned into. It was spotty, chalky. So there's that. Alright. So again, yesterday I don't remember exactly what I predicted I was going to do. So right now I'm predicting that I get the door and the windows masked. My first layer of blue, first coat of blue on. That's my plan for tomorrow. First coat of blue. First coat of blue. I'm just masking the doors. I may hit, because I still have to paint the door frame. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to paint the door frame too, because I want to hit it with white, because I'm going to have to come back after the splatter, because I'm not going to mask it. I'm going to mask the edges after everything's said and done, you know, several days after the last coat of paint, because I want everything to be stuck and cured before I put masking tape on it and caulk the edges and cut in, you know, for those nice crisp lines. Because we're using masking tape, you know, you put it up against the wall or whatever, and you want a nice straight line. Masking tape still does not leave crisp lines. So a little tricky trick is you take a little dab of caulk, depending on what you're painting. If it's white, you use white caulk. If it's like a color against a white, or if it's color against a white, use white caulk. If it's white paint up against a whatever, use white caulk. If it's color up against, or if it's white up against color, use a clear, I don't know. Your best bet is just to use a paintable clear caulk and take just a little teeny tiny dab, run it on the edge, and that seals the paint, or the tape. Seals the tape from letting little tiny flecks of paint get up underneath the tape, because it will. And it's gonna look like, you know, it's gonna, from afar, it's gonna be a nice, you know, straight line, but when you're all up on it, it's gonna look crackly, and it's not straight. It's gonna be all, yeah. Even frog tape or whatever fucking tape. So you say if you take it and get it wet, like if you take a wet sponge and dab it on there, that doesn't work. And you want to run the caulk, knock it down, like all of it just gone. There's no, you're wasting caulk, but you're actually, it's a very important process. And then you paint it. Before that shit has any chance at all to dry, you yank the tape. You're taking the paint off, or the tape off, before the paint even gets close to drying. Because if it dries, it's gonna peel. Yeah, if you peel it off, that's where people make their mistakes too, where they put masking tape down thinking, oh, this is my border, I'll just put masking tape and I don't have to worry about paying attention to how I'm painting. But another thing, you should absolutely pay attention to how you're fucking painting, because brush strokes matter. There ain't nothing worse than going somewhere and seeing the lines, like where, goddamn curb, like seeing the lines where people have cut in corners and the brush strokes are, a full 3-inch brush away from the fucking ceiling and the roller didn't get anywhere near it. So, dude, even when you're cutting in, if you're cutting in, like if you go into and you're going to be cutting in like a whole room, and it's going to take you an hour to cut this room in, take you a little 2-inch roller or a 4-inch micro roller and cut in and roll back your edges, because trust me, you're gonna want to do that. You don't want that transition, because people will see it, even on flat paint on walls, because you always paint walls. Not always paint walls. I like flat paint. I really like flat paint more than eggshell or orange peel. Anyway, that's just my 38 cents. That's my $1.05. So tomorrow, gonna lay down the blue, paint the door frame. That's it. Should be it. So, see what my prediction is for today, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's tomorrow. So for Thursday, I predict Friday I'll have my last coat on. Friday will be tidying everything up. Friday will be touch up. Friday will be touch up. Friday will be touch up. I'm making my predictions for the rest of the week. So Friday is going to be touch up. So tomorrow, mask, trim, first coat of blue. Thursday, another coat of blue, like a thin coat, because I may do that in 2 coats. 3 coats, because I'm not going to prime the gray. So I'll probably end up doing 3 coats on this little section. We'll see how much I get covered tomorrow, because I lay it on thick on the first coat. So no, Thursday will be final coat and touch up the trim. Friday will be what am I going to do Friday? Friday will be install the water line, touch up around the meter base, and probably mask. No, I want to mask it and pull it at the same time. I want to give that a couple days. So I may, by Friday will be final coat, water line will be in, and I'm going to put an underlaying coat of caulk under the trim on top of the block before I put the polyurethane on it, just to kind of seat everything. Again, the block was put on over top of the siding, so with zero barrier. So now what I'm doing is creating a barrier, and I had to put a big enough gap in it to where it's got to stretch, and that's kind of how or no, exactly how I did the chimney and the porch. So tomorrow's just a little touch up, or tomorrow or Friday. By the time Saturday hits, after my tattoo appointment, I'm going to see how I feel, and I may not do anything. I think Friday's it. Friday's it until like Monday or Tuesday. It's supposed to rain Sunday, and I'm getting in the woods Sunday, at least evening. I want to hunt Sunday evening. I'm taking my bow. I may spend all morning Sunday. I may go up to Indian Creek and do a little broadhead tuning in the sand pit and before I go out, because I'm definitely hunting Fallsville, but I'll stop at Indian Creek on my way to Fallsville. It's a little out of the way, but it's a way to get there. So that's what I'll do. I'll head out like early afternoon, hit Indian Creek, depending on the rain. If it's pouring, and then I'm fucking winging it. But yeah, I'm getting in the woods. I'm getting on the ground, changing my game. Holy shit, fucking deer season. I gotta get my tag Friday, Saturday, or just any time between now and Sunday. I gotta look, see if I got a tag. I think I got a tag. I don't know. Anyway, that's this week. Right now, as of September 22nd, I predict by Friday, the 25th, that the only thing left to do on the front of the house is going to be the polyurethane caulk. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have left. And whatever I'm doing with the downspout, and possibly paint the utility, the downspouts and the gas meter. I may save that until after we get the plumber in to do the drain. So, yeah, pretty easy week. But thing is, I get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and everything's still kind of cool and wet. Then I go out and paint, and I can't do the next step. I can't go do something else. I could, but that's another like 2-hour thing to come back and do the other thing. I may look at lowering the scaffold while I'm waiting for that to, after I get done with the blue, depending on how the blue goes. The primer went very quick today, so I don't think it's gonna go very. Oh, but I have more. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays. But my prediction is by Friday, everything is gonna be pretty much done on the front, except for some final caulking, the polyurethane cleanup. That's it. I like it. All right, fuck off. I got shit to do.